Welcome, everyone, to the Inspired Riding Audio Summit. We are going to be speaking about the benefits of intuition in the horse world. With me today is Carrie Damato, an instructor at the Equitation-based riding program in Central Florida at the Dark Horse Arena. I'm so honored to speak with her. Carrie, thank you so much for being here.
Anytime. I'm always excited to work with you.
Thank you so much. So let's dive right in. What do you love most about working with horses?
Their honesty. They are one of the few animals to me that can meet you face to face and just have no preconceived notions of who you are, what you are. And that's very hard to find, especially in today's society where you have, Instagram life and then you have real life. And in dealing with people, which is what I do for a living, face to face with people, it's always disconcerting when you go and think about, is this a person I'm really talking to or not? But when you work with horses, they bring everything right there with you. They meet you on level ground, and it's refreshing. It really is.
I love that so much. So what's something a horse has taught you that has changed your perspective?
To step back and look at the big picture. When things go south, there is a reason. It could be environmental, it could be internal, I don't know. But anytime that I have gone against that, it has not ended well. So being able to step back from the situation, almost disassociate, but not really, just step back and take it all in, do a 360 view of what's going on and not just a pinpoint view. I tend to view things like a sniper where I want to focus on one single thing, and that one single thing might be fine, but with everything else going on around it, ignoring that can lead to trouble. So just lean into it and listen to it.
That's so smart. It's so good to keep yourself open to all the possibilities. Okay, so the next big question, how has your intuition helped you when interacting with horses or with your clients?
That is really good. Intuition is something that I've kind of growing up ignored a lot because it wasn't something that was really focused on in my household. It was you did what you were told, not how you felt. So that was very confusing, but once I started really tuning in and tuning out everything else, it's really developed. One case in point that I can really bring to the table here was in instructing people, you as a whole can see the entire picture of them interacting with the horse. You can see the horse, you can see them, you know when things are correct. And I worked with a rider who had been riding with the therapy program in my county, and it's well known. And he's a special needs rider, and he has learning disabilities. And watching him interact with his own personal horse and watching him interact with the therapy horses, there was something else there, and I knew he was capable of more. So we worked with him one-on-one. This is me and my horse Pumpkin, who I still have, and his mom. And we really started not pushing him, but opening the door and letting him explore what he can and cannot do with his horses. He went from having a side walker on both sides, which is required in certain competitions with the Special Olympics, to actually cantering his own horse.
Oh, wow.
Now, is equitation perfect? No. Was his mom scared? Yes. But watching him be free to explore on his own and not being confined, I got a lot of blowback from that. But I knew it was the right thing. I knew it. I felt it in my bones. It was the right thing. And pushing somebody a little bit outside of their comfort zone, if you can see the entire picture, following your gut feeling and letting your gut guide you to guide somebody else is terrifying. But at the same time, when you embrace it, it's freaking magical. That's the only words I can describe it. He is, let's see, this was about probably 6 or 7 years ago, maybe longer. And he's out cantering on trails now with his horse Sammy. And it's really neat to see. They're a heck of a pair. They're unstoppable. But being confined to just sidewalkers and just walking wasn't his thing. And I could see it, and I could see it in his horse. I could see it in him. And following my gut and allowing him to expand and explore on his own is how he came to do what he does. And all he needed was a little push. And I needed a little push because let me tell you, having somebody who you have only seen walk with assistance, attempting to posting trot and even canter is terrifying, especially when you're equitation based. You know the line from your ear to your shoulder through your hip. Well, it doesn't work for him. But what we did find is what worked for him, and he's happy. I mean, he still rides.
That is absolutely beautiful. And I got serious chills when you said it was magical. That was the word that popped into my mind too. So cool.
It really was.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. So has your intuition ever surprised you in life? And if so, can you share a story about that?
Yes. So if you know me and if you've heard me talk, you know it comes down to a gelding that I had named Alex. Alex was not something that I would have presented as a horse for anybody to ride. Now, I'm not saying this is a black stallion magical. I was the only one that could do it. No. He was a very, very difficult horse, and we had a breakthrough where I just absolutely had to give in and let go. And that self-preservation part of my brain said, you are absolutely crazy. This is going to end badly. But deep down, I knew I had to give him a chance and just let it flow. And that was the breakthrough moment with him, and that changed the course of our entire existence. And again, when your brain and the logic part of your self-preservation part of your brain is arguing with what you know in your bones, it's very, very tough. Very tough. But when you give in and let go, I mean, it happens. And when you ignore it, it can go south. It can go south quickly. But letting go and following that instinct it can open worlds to you. And if you keep saying no, then you have no idea what's available and what's at your fingertips. So go with your gut.
Absolutely. Can you share more on the moment that helped you shift from quieting the logical mind and then trusting your gut?
I live in Florida. We have native plants called palmettos. You've seen them in the movies and stuff. They're a very bushy, very hardy plant. Along with that plant, we also have another native plant called a Spanish bayonet, which is also a type of palmetto, but they're very sharp, very uncomfortable. Not a lot of fun. We had been riding through what had burned a few years ago. So down here in Florida, when they do controlled burns, they will burn out all the underbrush. The first thing that comes back is the palmettos. Well, the palmettos are basically a canopy for the ecosystem here in the scrub pines of Florida. And in that ecosystem, we have feral hogs, colloquially known as piney woods hogs. Well, we had been riding along these palmettos. They're about chest high on a 15-hand horse, and we spooked a sow with piglets, and it turned into a chase. She chased us for probably a good, I would say a good 3/4 of a mile to a mile, which is absolutely unheard of with these hogs. But in order for both of us to get out unscathed, I just had to let go. I did not want to trust him. My brain said that I had a hole dug on the back 40 for him at one time because I didn't want him to do this to anybody else. But deep in my bones, I knew this was the make it or break it time. So giving in, I dropped the reins, let him have his head, and he gave me all he's got and got both of us out of a very sticky situation. When you are in palmettos, they are very thick. You cannot see the forest floor, but they are chest high. They fan out from a bulb, so you can walk through them. You just kind of part with them, like Moses in the Red Sea, kind of. You can walk through them unassisted, but running through them is definitely not advised. But that's what we had to do, and just following my gut, letting him have his head, was the turning point for a relationship that lasted decades. That moment right there taught me that following your instinct is more important than any other lesson that any horse I've ever come in contact with, or any rider I have ever come in contact with, or any coach I've come in contact with. That was the lesson, is to trust your gut and let him do his thing.
That's incredible. I'm so glad you guys got out of it, and you literally had to let go of the reins and of your tight grip fear in the mind. So that's amazing. I'm so proud of you and really grateful you're here to tell us about it.
For sure. It's definitely not an experience that I care to repeat.
I wouldn't think so. Yes.
But now that I look back at it and the moments that I've followed my instinct, it's, for those of you who know me know I'm a huge Marvel fan, and one of my favorite characters is Doctor Strange. He has the ability to open portals to other places, and that's exactly what following your gut does. Don't confine yourself. If you follow that instinct, the world is just at your fingertips. Any direction you want to go, just do it.
Ooh, I love that. Infinite possibilities and all the different portals you can open up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. So speaking of that, the next question I have is, what lights you up and inspires you immensely in the horse world?
So I have been showing, training, and coaching for a very long time. I mean, it's like we pretty much were showing dinosaurs in Western pleasure. That's how I feel sometimes. But seeing people genuinely happy with their horse, I don't care if they're doing Liberty, I don't care if they're Grand Prix jumpers, NCHA trainers, just seeing people genuinely happy, where that joy takes over and they cannot help that goofy grin that comes across their faces. That's what lights me up. I want everybody to get a taste of what that's like.
Yes, I got chills from that too. I'm so in agreement with you. So, Carrie, what do you wish everyone would do when it comes to their horse time?
I wish people would quit comparing their journey to other people's journeys. Nobody has the same path. We may walk parallel. Our paths may intersect and intertwine, but nobody is on the same path as you. Quit comparing yourself to others. Enjoy what you have where you have it, because one day it's all going to change and it won't be the same again. Enjoy the moment. Live in it. Remember it. Cherish it. That right there.
Beautiful. I love it. So what's one piece of advice you would give your younger self for encouragement?
Don't listen to the naysayers. They don't know what they're talking about. You can do it. It was an uphill battle for me in my equestrian journey. I am short. I am not naturally talented. We talk about talented riders. I am the opposite of talent. Every step I take, I fight with myself. as far as having the ability to be fluid and move fluid and make it look easy. It's not easy. It's very hard. Ignore the naysayers. Just keep at it.
I'm glad you kept at it.
Me too. I'd make a horrible corporate person. Cubicle life is not for me.
No, you need those open spaces so you can ride your ponies.
Exactly.
So what does the phrase, "May the horse be with you always," mean to you?
So being the geek that I am, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I automatically perk up when I hear that. And then also a huge Harry Potter fan, I perk up again. So to me, it is bringing that joy that they bring me everywhere I go, and to not lose sight of it. That right there is what it means to me.
I love it. It's all about coming back to that joy and to that magic that the horse is bringing.
Exactly. I left the professional show world because it was no longer fun. I lost the joy. It was a job, and I don't wish that upon anybody. If where you're at in your equine journey, if you are not happy, find other avenues. Reach out. There are tons of people that can help you discover new things. I mean, I did Alex was 29 years old when we made our Western dressage debut. And we met so many awesome people on that journey, and people that I'm still friends with today. Just get out there and have fun.
I didn't realize he was 29 when you did that. That's phenomenal.
It was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
But it's also a testament to how much he loved you and how well you took care of him to be able to do all that and stay athletic.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. If you're not maintaining your animals and yourself, your health is just as important as your horses. Actually, more important, because if you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to take care of your horses. So you need to honor your health as well as honoring your horse's health. But yes, he was on just basic joint supplements, just like what I take. No special feed, really.
That's really cool. I love that he was able to thrive that way.
Oh, yes.
So I'd love to hear if you have another transformational story that occurred as a direct result of trusting your intuition, either with yourself, a horse, or another person you were helping.
For sure. There are a lot of people that have met my equestrian journey that have rubbed me the wrong way just because of their training methods just don't mesh with mine. And it's not saying that their training methods were wrong. It's just that they didn't mesh with me. Kind of like trying to fit a puzzle piece that has the same color but not the same shape. That I met an individual that I had never met before. So we were introduced, and I immediately took to this individual's training methods, just like absolutely followed my gut when it came to listening to what he said, how he said it, why he said it. And there are people that do not appreciate or like his methods because he does not sugarcoat it. He will not tell you, oh, add draw reins. No, he says, put some wet blankets on that horse and do things correctly. Following the methods that he's actually introduced me to has allowed me to mesh with other riders and show them other opportunities that they have with their horses. This individual is absolutely just amazing. I'm not name dropping because that makes him very uncomfortable. But if you're ever my way, I will introduce you to him, Beth. You'll like him.
Oh, wonderful.
But through that immediate, I'm going to throw my hat in this man's ring and see what happens. Most people would not go head first like that without even testing the water. Normally, when I am looking at somebody to potentially either learn from or teach, I'm going to just do a vibe check just to make sure, and that vibe check may include some internet sleuthing, just to make sure that this individual keeps, is on the up and up, and he's honest. He's not, they're not blacklisted anywhere for a reason. And just absolutely throwing my hat in and jumping in with both feet is not something I normally do, but I just knew it. I knew it as soon as I laid eyes on him. It's like, yep, this is it. And through that and following that individual's methods, he's helped me reach out to other people by telling them, look, we're here for the horse. If you need an ego boost, please go find some cheerleaders, because that's not what we're here for. We're going to get to the root of the problem, and these are how we're going to deal with the problem, if there is any, or here is how we're going to improve on what we have. That is something that a lot of riders do not like. They want the cheering, and that's fine. That's no problem. I have no problem. I will not overinflate it. But if that's the learning style that you need, you like a reward, that's good. Most of the riders that I coach and I've dealt with, aside from the Special Olympics and the kids, they are looking for the same thing that I want. I want, this is your problem, 1, 2, 3. This is how we're going to address 1. This is how we're going to address 2. This is how we're going to address 3. So I know that was kind of a tangent, and that might not mesh with with the whole theme, but that's how I followed him.
Oh, I think it absolutely does. I mean, to just have that feeling straight away, yes, I need to work with this person. And then it sounds like it really shifted your perspective on how to teach people and introduce them to new things. I think that's phenomenal.
So, it did, because it allowed me to honor the horse and the horse's needs first. When you're young and you're just now, when you're just starting out getting clients and, you're bringing horses into training, you want to make your clients happy. Well, a happy client doesn't necessarily mean a happy horse. And by putting the horse first, now to my benefit, I'm not ignoring any of my clients' horses when I was training, but allowing me to honor their needs first was what really shifted in my way of thinking. And it did. And my clients' horses were happier. When they're happier, I'm happier, and everybody's happier.
I love that.
Any sense?
Yeah, totally. And I'm guessing it gave you a bigger picture on how to approach it and explain it to your clients too. Is that accurate?
It really did.
Yeah.
It really truly did. And the example that I used, and I'll ask my writers this, and said, well, if I ask you, what day is it? What will you tell me? It's Sunday. All right. Well, what day is it? It's February the 26th. Well, what day is it? It's today. So there are 3 separate answers to the same question. And how you phrase your question can be very important as well. But at the heart of it, I asked the question 3 times, and 3 times I got different answers, and all 3 were correct. So dealing with not holding their hand and patting them on the head and telling them that they're awesome all the time, and telling them, okay, your horse is lacking in top line, so instead of using draw reins and holding him in frame, we're just going to do pole work, is a lot simpler than your horse is gorgeous, let's add this, you're doing great, you're amazing. in the meantime, the horseback's top line is hollowed out and really needs help. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes. And it's all coming down to clarity, and clarity equals kindness for the horse and for the human.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Agreed.
it. So, Carrie, is there anything else that you'd like to share that I haven't asked you?
Yeah, so we got into a discussion with a really awesome discussion with someone else that brought this to the forefront. Folks, if you're not advocating for yourself and your horse, you need to start. If you are uncomfortable with the trainer that you have, you need to let them know. If you're uncomfortable in the situation that you are in with your horse at your boarding barn, you need to let somebody know. Don't suffer. Be your own advocate. Be your horse's advocate, because the only voice they have is yours.
I love that. Yep. And you've got to trust your intuition always.
Absolutely.
And then once you trust it, you've got to really know that it's okay to speak up.
Exactly. And feelings can recover, but an unavoidable accident is not something anybody wants. But yet, be your own advocate. Follow your instinct. If it feels wrong, then it's wrong. And I will say that every time I have ignored that feeling, it has gone south.
Same here.
I can
Same
laugh
here.
at it now, but...
Yeah, I kind of joke, if I don't listen, sometimes I end up in the hospital, and that is not fun.
Yes. And, if the hospital had frequent flyer cards, like, you get your card punched and you get a free cup of coffee or something, it'd be a little bit more fun. But yes, I agree with you. When I don't listen, I'm pretty much on a first name basis with some of the EMTs back in my old barn. So I didn't listen a lot.
Well, let's just say I'm grateful we're both here and still able to ride our beautiful ponies.
For sure. How did we survive as youngsters? Oh my goodness. And I tell people it's not the years, it's the mileage.
Yes, my husband has that shirt with Harrison Ford quote on it. Well, Carrie, do you want to talk a little bit about your cards that you're about to launch?
I'm very pleased to be able to announce the launch of Oracle cards as well as affirmation cards. This is a project that's been in the works for well over 15 years. After years of supporting others and offering encouragement and advice, the messages that have been shared with them will be available to everyone. Affirmation cards are cards with a saying, a sentiment, a quote. They have a positive message that can be used to focus on throughout the day. These will feature several themes like cottagecore, equine, geek gamer, and more. Oracle cards are cards that can be used to clarify decisions and provide overall guidance. These sets will be available in multiple sizes and expansion packs. They will all have supportive guides and materials. The designs themselves will be released slowly on Facebook and Instagram, so make sure you follow the Accidental Oracle on both of them. This is a project that I've been passionate about for years and cannot wait to share them with people.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. I am so excited. I cannot wait to see all of them. And I'll be sure to share the links to all of this so people can check them out.
I appreciate it, and your cards will be in the mail very shortly as soon as I approve the proofs and get them printed and cut.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Thank you.
You're welcome. For those of you who have followed me and know me personally, the equine waffle cards, you may recognize some of them. Some of my friends' horses are in them. Some of these horses are near and dear to me, have touched me in my life, and they came about, the equine oracle cards came about through the inspired riding book that Beth wrote, especially the chapters when she's talking to her herd. I have been absolutely just blessed beyond measure with some of the horses that I've met in my life. And seeing them on paper with their messages is absolutely amazing.
Thank you
And
so
I'll
much.
share more of those on the page as we go along too. But they're pretty cool, so check them out. And Beth, thank you for kicking my butt in gear. It's exactly what I needed.
I'm so proud of you for following your intuition to do that. This is amazing.
It was a huge step, but I'm glad I got them down. I sat down one afternoon and probably wrote, good gravy, at least 30 of them, just coming in contact and thinking about the horses that I've had and that I know. So it was pretty cool. If you haven't seen or haven't read that chapter of Beth's book, y'all need to go and do it now, for real.
I'm so honored that that inspired you. So this is really exciting to hear about this co-creation and how your downloads came in.
It is awesome. I appreciate the opportunity and the platform that you have, Beth. Keep doing what you're doing. It's amazing.
I will. And thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you and all that you're doing.
Thank you, Beth.
You're welcome. And may the horse be with you always.
Always.